Hey, I got a question for you, man. Like, what did you think about that band live album?
Oh, I'm liking it. I'm reading the filler right now, which isn't very much, I guess.
I thought it was kind of interesting that it showcased the songs that I didn't really understand were like in their set list for so long throughout the years. Like the WS Walcott Medicine Show, I thought was really good, and then like Unfaithful Servant and Rocking Chair. Well, Rocking Chair I always liked, but then there's that other stuff at the end, like the Slippin' and a Slide, and they had some good versions of some obscure shit on that.
All right, so you're saying this is 1970?
That's what they said on the cover, but I think
Okay, well, it says here,
it's hard for me to believe that.
hot on the heels of the band's album Stage Fright, released in August 71.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no, it says 70, yeah.
You know what? I guess we were right then. That was when they were just starting to. They were about to drop it. They had the new shit ready to go. How you doing, Michelle?
Oh, I'm hanging in.
What's
How
new
are
with you
you?
in town?
What's new with me in town?
Or what's new with you in general?
Nothing's really new, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depends how you look at it. You know?
Yeah. It seems like winter up here. It's like downtime, but like I don't know. It's weird. You guys got a lot of freedom up here.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah.
It's not like this back down in PA, you know.
Right.
Some places maybe, but not. You know, just being able to kind of like.
Yeah, well, usually this time of year, it's even though it's, getting cold and it feels a little more dead, getting, darker earlier, it's still, kind of bustling because the excitement of the holidays is in the year.
Yeah.
But this year, that's not the case because of COVID and stuff. So,
Yeah.
This winter is probably going to be even more dead than usual.
Yeah. Well, it's like a late winter, right?
Yeah, more like early winter, and then maybe later.
Well, yeah, it's like we're yeah.
Yeah.
It was like nice like last week or 2 weeks ago or something like that, you know?
Yeah, we seem to be, and even last winter was like that, where we'll have, almost a week of it being, considerably warm.
Yeah,
and
it's like winter skipped us last year.
For a couple of days or a couple of nights, and then kind of warm again, which actually I don't mind. I'd rather it be like that than just straight cold. So maybe this whole winter will be another one like it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. What you reading about, Perry?
Just looking at the picture with the old car. Trying to figure out if this car that's sitting on is the same car that's sitting out in front of the mosque in the picture.
Yeah, because I've heard about this show before, the Pittsburgh, PA mosque that they played, but I was surprised that it was on CD because it was like a bootleg online.
This is like a bootleg.
But you know what though? The sound quality keeps getting better as it goes. Like the first song, I thought the sound quality was a little sketchy, and then by the second and third one, I was so happy to hear it. I just love their music so much; it's like crazy to me. That the Unfaithful Servant Rick Danko version. If you're out there listening, anybody that wants to, that's a big fan of the band, check that out. But yeah, so I'm trying to think, Michelle, like, who are some of your favorite people in town?
Oh, you guys.
Nice. Thank you.
I don't know. I have my really good friend who works over at Woofstock. She's definitely one of my favorite people, one of my best friends.
Nice. Pirate Pete's pretty cool.
Yeah, Pirate Pete. I was just gonna say.
I like Pirate Pete.
He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, there's a lot of them,
Yeah.
Some of them remain my favorites. Others, it's up and down.
There are a lot of good people in town.
Yeah.
The ones that are left now after the rush of everybody's rush towards the box.
Yeah, the untimely demises.
Yeah.
That was a lot of them.
Like a lot of people
spring
passed away
and
this
summer
year.
Especially.
In this last year, a lot of people passed.
I know.
And not one of them from COVID.
I know is kind
Not
of
one of them from COVID because
interesting.
it ain't there.
No, it's there. It's definitely
And
there.
if
Something's going
if
on.
it's there, it's not what they say it is. It's you know.
You know what's weird
but
about?
I mean, these doctors and nurses on TV, and like I know people, who have relatives who work in the front lines. It's definitely something, I believe. Even if in some places it's exaggerated, maybe, who knows? But I believe that there's something.
That's what it sounds like to me too. Is that it's like
I'm not like super.
What they're doing is they're fudging the numbers, which they always do with everything.
Well, they probably are. Because of course they're gonna mess with you.
We got X amount of 100,000 people dead. It's like almost 300 grand now, I think. But when you go along with the deaths as opposed to how many people there are who have it, that number doesn't jive. The number of deaths, which is 0.1. 1/10, right, of a percent of the people who get it die.
You know what's crazy about that, Perry?
There are so many people who get it and never
there's
gets.
300,000 now that are dead, and yet only 1.4 million people have it, or say have positives. So that number doesn't jive right.
Well, not only that, you know what's weird? Like they might have said that it was 0.01 a month ago, but that number might have even changed by now.
No, it hasn't reached. Even during like a bad what they call a cluster, where there's a whole bunch in a little area, it only goes up to 0.3, 0.3. Okay, and 0.3 is a lot of people. You know, if you're looking at like 400,000 people, you know, that's a lot of people. But if you got X amount of millions and you only have 200,000, 300,000 dead, there's too many people who are positive and not enough people dead for 0.01.
Right, there's like
okay,
so many.
but they still say it's 0.01. You know, so there's something wrong with the arithmetic.
My buddy lives in Brooklyn, and he's from Cali, and he said that when the hospitals were overflowed or whatever, and the trucks were, you know, dead bodies were falling out of the back of ice trucks on the side of the road or whatever. He said that shit was real. He said he saw shit like that.
Of course,
again, remember what I told you about the jetliner that they knocked out of the sky?
Yeah, the false flag shit.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of dead people around. Okay, the morgues are full of dead people.
Yeah, you're saying they could just grab bodies and fill them up.
Grab bodies, throw them in a freezer.
That's pretty fucked up.
Leave the door open for people to see, and then just point at it and go, COVID did that, COVID. And you would believe it because if you zip one of those things open, yeah, they had an autopsy. But this is the thing about COVID people, is they die, and if you need an autopsy, you don't find it. They don't do autopsies on them. They just name it COVID.
Yeah, I have heard that.
No matter what happened to the guy, if he had a heart attack while he was COVID positive, it was COVID that
Yeah, they just put the label on him. But you know what, though?
If he died of the diabetes that he had for 35 years...
Yeah.
Right? No, he died because of COVID.
But they really can't get away with that, though, you know, because people are talking, you know?
Well, that's the thing. Also, go and try and Google stuff. Go to these information areas and try and Google certain things about COVID, and you won't be able to find them because they're being censored.
Right.
Doctors that are telling you, no, this is something else. It's not what they're saying it is.
Yeah.
They're making something out of it that isn't there.
Is that Laura? I can't see. What's up?
Also, like somebody mentioned to me, there's like so many people who get it, either never get sick or they overcome it. They just feel shitty for a few days. They don't seem to put those numbers up, and they should. You know?
But with those people, if they get, they're saying if those people get it, or if anybody's positive, okay, because what they're saying is once you're positive, you're sort of reeking virus off you.
Well, yeah, other people.
And that's not how it goes.
Yeah, they make it sound so damn contagious.
You're not breathing it all over people. Okay, I can
Some
understand.
people could be. It depends how
Well,
you
I
live.
can understand if you sneeze on somebody, that's one way. But a person walking in the street is not leaving a trail of virus behind them. Okay, I don't think that's even possible.
Yeah, but there was a lot of people though, you know.
Okay, so first they said you can get it in the air. Okay, well, if that was true, a lot more people would be sick.
Right.
Okay, because there's all these millions of positives. Okay, so those millions of positives are walking through a mall, walking through a store, go get gas and walk by somebody. Why didn't that person get sick immediately? With it just pouring fucking viruses off, isn't
Not
it?
necessarily. I mean, we have all kinds of viruses in our bodies
Well,
all the time, and most
right,
of them get fought
and
off.
that's the deal.
You know,
What?
if somebody
anybody
catches
dies,
it, you can't fight it off.
if anybody
you
dies
know.
from COVID, it's the same reason why you die from the flu, because your immune system is fucking compromised because you eat like a fucking dope. Okay? Now, I'm eating like a dope right now. It's all meat and potatoes, meat and potatoes, meat and potatoes. All right? And that's because that's the food that goes with me longest. Okay? Once I get a place to live, yeah, there's salads in my future. But there's salads that I make and with stuff that I like, where I'm not getting a pound of kale and 2 little slices of tomato for $14.95. Okay? Okay, I can understand iceberg lettuce. Yes, that is absolutely garbage. Okay.
Vicious, very vicious.
But what you do is you mix that iceberg lettuce with a little bit of, what's that where you got all the leaves in it? What do they call that? Mezcal mix. Right? You do a little mezcal mix in there. And then you take some Boston lettuce and you chop those Boston lettuces up. And that gives you the leafy green and a better lettuce than you would be getting with iceberg, you know. Hey.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I thought I knew who that was.
Probably did. I mean, it's a small town. Probably is somebody.
I thought I knew him, but I don't know. He's
face,
looking at me that I didn't
by
know.
name.
Well,
Everybody's got a mask on nowadays. I can't see who's who.
Yeah, it's like I'm still wearing my mask even in the car to hide my eczema. I have a bad breakout of
there you go.
eczema. So.
Oh, wow.
No, but I believe it's a good idea to respect people and wear the masks in the stores and stuff, you know? And still, you know, the way I look at it is to have a balance of being careful but not being really paranoid. You know, you can't live in fear.
Well,
Total
like
fear.
You guys are in a good town with this so far, you know?
Like
What's
for
up?
instance,
You guys have been in a good town as far as not... There's only been 8 cases, right?
They say there has been a bit of a surge in cases here compared to where it was, but
Really?
it still
right.
doesn't
Well,
sound like
here
it's
you
that
got
bad
people-
in
you got-
comparison to
You got
other
people
places.
here who don't mind obeying a few things that they're supposed to do. Like, yeah, okay. So if you notice,
You had to use the obey word, Perry.
yeah. If you think that there's stuff around, okay, so you distance like you want to, and you wear the mask when you go in someplace when everybody's sitting around, and that's good. But you know, when you're in the fresh air, you should be breathing fresh air.
Oh yeah.
That's like kids I see, like my friend
yeah,
Chris.
You gotta get fresh air.
Like my friend Chris, he's got the little 5-year-old, right? The 5-year-old boy. And when I see this 5-year-old boy, he's a screaming terror. You know? He's running, he's jumping, he's screaming like a madman, right? And I looked at Chris and I said, oh man. I said, don't you ever fucking give that kid a pill. And I said, this is what a 5-year-old is supposed to be like. People don't understand that, right? And, you know, hyperactive, crazy as a loon, hands dirty, face dirty. Okay, this is what 5-year-olds are about. That's how they build up their immune system, too, by being sort of schmutzy. Okay? And you clean them off, and you hope that they don't get like, you know, a bad cough or a cold or something from it. But, you know, you can't live in an antiseptic world. It's wrong. We grew up with this stuff. We evolved with it. It's what we need to have around us. If if you take your body and get rid of everything but the bacteria, you're left with a 5-pound lump of bacteria. Okay? 5 pounds of bacteria. What does a bacteria weigh? Like 100,000th of a fucking gram of an ounce? You know? It's like almost nothing. You know? So how many bacteria are there in 5 pounds? You know? God damn it, man. You know?
Michelle, is there anything that you want to talk about? Like, I know that you were saying before that you wanted to kind of like
stick it out like that for the moment.
Stick your
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying not to like.
Yeah, you're right.
As long as
print dirty
as long as
foot
you're
on
not
your thing.
kicking somebody in the ass with your
My foot's asleep.
I was gonna ask you, and you could decline if you like, but if there's anything you want to say about any. I remember the first time that we talked about doing an interview, we were like, I want to discuss about the rumors shit or something shit like that.
That preferably another time.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool.
But then again, that's small towns are rumor factories just in general.
Yeah, this town's known for that. You know?
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about it now.
Okay.
I remember
For the
going to the
moment.
movie with my mother, and we saw a movie which was, man, they advertised the shit out of this movie, and even made a TV program out of it called Peyton Place, and that was all about
I heard about
a little small town in like Malibu somewhere, or somewhere in California, where all the problems these people had. Oh my. And every week, all the mothers watched it, and all during the week, oh, did you see what he did to her, what her did to him?
Yeah.
This, that, the other thing, It was the beginning of that.
Yeah, the whole
And, which almost culminates with Dallas.
soap opera.
Yes. It was one of the original primetime soap operas. Okay, now, soap operas back in the day when I was a kid, and my mother didn't really watch them because my mother was busy washing and cleaning the house that early in the morning, Soap opera went from like 9 in the morning to like 11
Yeah.
or 2 or 12, something like that. Not a long time. But they were on every channel. And in those days, you'd see a black stage, right? Just black. And there would be a column with a plant on it. Okay? So now you got that. That's the stage set. A column with a plant on it. And then 2 people would come from either side, and they would start doing their lines.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to imagine that, well, I guess they're in a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't tell where the fuck they were. You might see, like if it was an office, there would be a desk and a file cabinet. But a black stage. Nothing behind the stage. No room.
Yeah.
No window with a view of the city or something,
Yeah.
It was just a black stage. Yeah, it's pretty funny the way they used to do it.
Another thing too, somebody told me there's an actual song called The Rumor. I forget what band did it, but supposedly it's about Woodstock, this town, Woodstock.
Oh, really?
What's it called?
Yeah, The Rumor, but I forget
Really?
the name of the band who did it though. Somebody told me about it. I guess it was in
Well,
the
we could
60s
figure
or 70s.
that out. You can Google it.
Yeah, I don't have my phone with me.
Well,
right
I'm just
now.
saying,
No
Yeah.
phones in the car. Nah, just kidding.
Yeah, we got no
Just good.
Google.
I don't have my phones with me.
got no
my
Google.
phone with me right now. I'll probably look it up at some point. Yeah.
Rumor, huh? I don't think I've heard that.
Yeah, not long after I first moved here,
I mean, there's a movie.
a friend of mine put me on the phone with one of his friends that used to live in Woodstock, and she's like, she's the one that told me that, and she's like,
Oh.
and don't worry, it's an evil, evil town. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't think it's an evil town. I think there's just like anywhere, no matter
Just
even
like
if it's
anywhere,
even if it's
so-
a place you like, there's going to be something.
So to hear Joe Barton.
Wait, let me just
Oh,
finish.
go ahead.
Something dark underneath the surface. You know what I mean? So.
Would you say there is?
Well, like anywhere.
Yeah.
Generally.
Well, there's all kinds of weird folklore about that up here. Like they were talking. Well, I mean, just even some of the names of some of the mountains. Isn't there like a Devil's Way or some shit like that? There's some.
all kinds of shit like that up here because That was the Dutch who named shit like that, you know. Like the Dutch were afraid of the forest. They didn't live in the forest. They wanted the forest knocked down. And the Dutch named all kinds of shit like that.
Yeah.
Bloody kill and
The Crowley stuff was kind of weird up here too. I mean, you know, I want to
that comes later.
I didn't know there was any.
I want to dismiss that stuff, but then when I hear
18
about it, I'm like, you know what? Like, there is something weird up here.
That comes in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
That Crowley stuff.
Or 1900s,
I
right?
thought he existed in the earlier 1900s.
Yeah, I think he was like in the
Crowley.
Well, yeah, but he was
the 30s or the 40s, right?
He was coming up in early 1900s. Yeah, probably the 20s and 30s and 40s. I mean, he didn't die till the 40s or so.
He was older then, yeah.
Yeah, but
Excuse me, sorry.
No, I just, you know, the chick Kate, the stonemason lady, she was the one that was telling me about that stuff, and like I purposely tried not to buy into it because I was like, you know, but then when I first found town, I had a really weird experience where I can't tell if it was necessarily a mysticism thing, where it was like I found town and then my shit back home slowly started to crumble.
So I'll probably, if this is ever seen, I'll get killed for this.
Like there's a weird.
Kate is a militant Christian.
Right.
So
she's on some like journey shit, right?
They believe, you know, like that the devil is there. He's just
they're like real afraid of that kind of shit.
He's just behind that bush, and he's ready to get you, man. He's just waiting for that second that you don't watch, and then he's just going to appear in front of you and take you straight to hell. And she's that kind of person.
Yeah, Bible thumper.
Yeah, I mean, I love her and everything. She's a great girl.
Yeah.
But you know, she's extreme.
Yeah.
So you gotta take everything people say with a grain of salt. See how extreme they are. What sounds like madness. What doesn't sound like madness. You know, I mean.
Well, that's the whole trip, isn't it? That a lot of the situations when it comes to darkness is man-made, right? Like that's all
again
religious dogma and doctrine. You know, like
I believe in a God that is infused in everything. All the trees, all the dogs, all the rocks, everything, us, all the animals. They have a little spark of that creation in them. And that's what imbues the life in them. Okay? And I don't believe that God, that creator, who makes the beauty of the earth, would invent a thing called hell.
And put somebody there for all eternity just because he wasn't perfect.
There you go.
I'll give you free will, but if you fuck up, you're going to hell forever. What kind of a God is that?
I'll tell you what God
that kind of God is an asshole.
This is, yeah, old God. This is the God that is the hairy thunderer. The God of vengeance that came to us through the Jews. Okay?
Yeah, you're saying Yahweh.
I am a vengeful
It is also Allah. Allah is a vengeful God as well. He's very strict about his rules. Okay, and he denies paradise to those who make mistakes. Okay, which are we call them sins. All right. Now, I don't believe if God had created something and it turned on him, I'm sure God would be disappointed, but I can't see him creating this thing for the souls he created to go to be tortured and in despair for eternity. Okay, it just seems too much.
It was a way to control the masses and keep people afraid. We have that as humans in us to either be right or wrong and be afraid of guilt and punishment. That's something humans do.
Right, that is very human.
With our
that is very human
being in a lower vibration and all that.
We even know that primitive man was a feeling creature, because when you see the burials and how reverent burials are for them, and this includes the Neanderthal, by the way, which we consider him the ape man, But Neanderthals buried people with flowers, and there's a Neanderthal burial with a small animal, and the person is dead like this, and the hands are around the animal's skeleton, as if to say, like, oh, my little pet, like this. So that implies quite a complex thought process, only to love, but to even love a small animal, in a world of animals that were out to get you at that time, you know what I'm saying? Like, the cave bear was alive, saber-toothed tiger was alive.
Yeah,
all kinds of things were alive.
Before the gun was around or whatever.
Yeah, long before the gun. Probably the only thing, I don't even know if by Neanderthals, I don't think they ever used an arrow, bow and arrow. I think that's a Homo sapiens invention. Cro-Magnon, I don't think, had it. But they had spears and they had points. They had the idea that, that if I stuck something with a sharp thing, it'd kill it. They knew that.
Yeah, see, you know what it is I find myself being more interested in the ancient stuff than I do about the religious stuff nowadays. Because once you figure out that religion, some people think that religion was made so that poor people didn't kill rich people.
Well, that's what it wasn't made that way. What it is
that's how it can be controlled.
That's how it was twisted.
Yeah, twisted. Okay.
That's how it was turned. Original religion, man looked up at the moon, and that was the mother, and the sun was the father.
Yeah.
Or the earth was.
Still look at it that way.
Or the earth was the
Paganism.
father, and the sky was the mother, and
Sure.
The sun worshippers.
They knew that these are ancient people. These are people that you might dress them up and they might look like us now, but you could not teach them third grade math because they didn't have that yet.
Wow.
Okay, but what they did have, they had awe, they had reverence, they had love for each other, and maybe others. Right? So, all of that ends up making people sit down and think. Part of the thing
free thinking.
When we stood up and we were able to use our hands, that started the process of the brain thinking. What can I do with my hands? Let's do this. Oh, look at that piece of rock. Oh, I can use that to scrape this. Okay, that's nice. Oh, wow. I broke it. What can I do? Oh, I know. What if I broke it again? Oh, wow, look at that. Okay, good. Now I can scrape again. And then turn that on to your son. And your son turns that on to the son. And tool use begins. From the first guy who realized a sharp thing could scrape a skin to 300, 400,000 people knowing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's true communication.
Yeah.
So also reverence and all of that other stuff came through communication, including the Christmas tree, including religion. But original religion was not an institution. It was just a feeling in people that something else was there besides them.
Yeah.
Right? And then somebody got the idea that, or felt that they were closer to that than the rest of the people. And the rest of the people went along with that. Now you have a priest. And then the priests get corrupted very easily. Because man is corrupted very easily.
Well, certain things are revealed too. Like I remember in that book we were reading, they said certain plant medicine reveals itself to people at certain times.
Right, so you take a guy...
It's kind of like that, too, with other stuff.
You take a guy who's living 99% on instinct and not so much earned knowledge, right? And he takes up that mushroom one day and eats it. Or, even that. I mean, how many people ate those different mushrooms until the one that didn't kill them? And and how they explain the fact that they survived and everybody else died. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, now you're making up stories, and as soon as we start making up stories, we're lying. You know.
And that's the other thing too. The other thing about religion that I have to say is people put faith in something that they weren't even around here for. Or, if we're not, if you haven't seen it with your own eyes, how are you going to believe it?
Okay, so religion is one thing. Religion turns into separate dogma for how to operate in the religion.
Structure.
Okay, I'm not even getting to religion. I'm getting to the innate feeling that more is here than we see. Okay, a plan, a not plan, nature, a creator, a not creator, a firstling. Okay, an oldest being in the universe. Like, gotta remember, so they're saying from Big Bang till now, it's only been about 13 billion years, right? So, in that first billion years, couldn't a creature have developed that by now is 11 billion years old? Or a civilization that's 11 billion years old? And how much further along is that civilization than ours? There's nothing that says, there's nothing that says that only 4 billion years ago did something start on this planet.
I just interviewed a couple people in the Towdies.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just try to get information about COVID and all that shit out there.
You're next. She's running away.
I think that was pretty good, right?
Yeah.